Every US visa story begins with one of three ingredients: love, talent, or money. Today, we're talking about one of those ingredients: talent. If you're expanding your business into the United States, or you are a CEO, COO, or senior manager being transferred to a US office, this is what you need to understand. Because here's the reality: most L-1A petitions don't fail because the business is weak. They fail because the role does not meet the legal definition of an executive or managerial position. And if you don't understand how immigration officers evaluate that distinction, you can have a real company and still get denied. Hi, I'm Tapias, attorney and CEO of LOIGICA. And today I'm going to walk you through the L-1A visa strategy, whether you are expanding your own company or being transferred as a key employee, and how to meet the legal standards for executives and managers. To qualify for an L-1A visa, you must demonstrate a qualifying relationship between the foreign company and the US entity, that you worked abroad for at least one continuous year within the last 3 years in an executive or managerial role, and that you will work in the United States in an executive or managerial capacity. This applies both to business owners and to employees being transferred within an international organization. And this last element, your role, is where most cases are won or lost. Immigration officers do not rely on job titles. They focus on what you actually do. For an executive role, the focus is on directing the overall management of the organization or a major component, establishing goals and policies, exercising broad discretionary authority. For a managerial role, the analysis is more nuanced. You must show either personal management, where you supervise and control professional employees, or functional management, where you manage an essential function at a senior level. And this applies whether you are an owner or an employee. The key issue is not ownership. It's whether your role is truly executive or managerial. And if you are primarily performing day-to-day operational tasks, your case becomes vulnerable. In new office L-1A cases, the standard is more demanding. This applies when a company is just entering the US market and sending an owner or key employee to establish operations. You are asking for approval of a structure that is still being built. So you must show that within the first year, the US operation will support an executive or managerial role. That requires a detailed and credible business plan, a hiring plan tied to real growth, and an organizational structure that clearly delegates operational work. If the structure shows that you will be handling day-to-day operations, the case is at risk. But what if your company already has an established US operation? In existing office cases, the analysis shifts. Now, the focus is not on projections. It's on what already exists. You must demonstrate an active and operating business in the United States, a developed organizational structure with employees in place, and that the role you are entering is already in practice, executive or managerial. In these cases, officers look closely at payroll records, organizational charts, and actual business activity, not just plans. If the company is still too lean, or if the beneficiary is still involved in operations, the case can still be denied. The most common issues I see are job descriptions that are too operational, organizations that are too lean to support a true manager, and business plans or structures that don't align staffing with growth. This affects both entrepreneurs and employees. In these cases, the officers don't just question your role, they question whether the company can support that role at all. A successful L1 case is not just about eligibility, it's about design. You must align the company structure, the role, and documentation with how immigration officers evaluate authority, control, and delegation. Whether you are an owner or an employee, the strategy is the same. You must show that you lead, that you execute. The L-1A visa remains one of the most powerful ways to enter and expand into the United States, whether through a new office or an established operation. But it requires precision and a clear legal strategy. If you want to evaluate your case or your company structure, you can contact us through the link below. And remember, every US visa story begins with one of three ingredients: love, talent, or money. I'm Tapias, and I'll see you in the next video.